Remains on the non-stop developments that are taking place given the resignation of Sheikh Hasina as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. She, remember, is camping in New Delhi as we speak. She landed in New Delhi close to 5:15 p.m. yesterday, and ever since non-stop developments have been taking place back in Bangladesh as well. Of course, how this leaves an impact on India is something that we've been decoding here for you. But what's important to understand is that an interim government has taken over the affairs in Bangladesh, as was spoken of by the army chief yesterday after Sheikh Hasina's resignation. And since there are concerns that India is also looking at very closely, External Affairs Minister S. Shankar not only addressed those concerns during an all-party meeting earlier today, but also spoke of the same in the parliament, in the upper house of the parliament, where he highlighted a couple of concerns which were being raised by several politicians here in India, including the attack on minorities in Bangladesh and also how several students, Indian students, are still in Bangladesh. So their evacuation and safety becomes extremely important, was said by the EAM in the upper house of the parliament. First up, we listen in.
At very short notice, she requested approval to come for the moment to India. We simultaneously received a request for flight clearance from Bangladesh authorities. She arrived yesterday evening in Delhi. The situation in Bangladesh, sir, is still evolving. The Army Chief, General Waqar-uz-Zaman, addressed the nation on 5th August. He spoke about assuming responsibility and constituting an interim government. We are in close and continuous touch with the Indian community in Bangladesh through our diplomatic missions. There are an estimated 19,000 Indian nationals there, of which about 9,000 are students.
As we continue to discuss how things will be going forward with the interim government taking over, here's another piece of news coming in from Bangladesh. This is breaking news in the latest that Bangladesh's former Information and Technology Minister Zunaid Ahmed Palak has been detained at the Dhaka International Airport by the army while he was trying to leave the country. I want to go across to Siddhant Mishra joining us with more details. Siddhant, earlier as well, strong visuals came in from Dhaka wherein a cricketer politician's house was torched, it was set on fire, and now another politician, a former minister, has not been allowed to leave the country, instead has been detained. What more do we know?
Well, yes, that's absolutely right. In fact, we are also getting that the ministers in the government, those who inspired power, those close to her, are being detained at the airport. And in fact, one such case has come to our knowledge where the information minister has been put under detention at the Dhaka airport. In fact, we also have we also have those images that we are putting out for our viewers on our screen. In fact, not just at the airport, even at the India-Bangladesh border, also there is an active vigilance that is being done by the law enforcement authorities, so that nobody close to Hasina, Awami League leaders, can leave country, because there is also the unsaid promise that new government has to make to the people of Bangladesh that they are going to put all these leaders of Awami League on trial, and there is going to be cases that are going to be slapped against all of them under various sections, mostly corruption. So that is an unsaid promise commitment. That only arrests and detentions are currently going on.
Okay, all right. So then we'll come back to you in just a bit. What's also important is to highlight the manner in which things will go forward for the interim government that's taken over in Bangladesh, which, remember, is going to be headed by Chief Advisor Nobel Laureate Muhammad Yunus, and CNN News 18 Zaka Jacob, in fact, did speak to him exclusively as well. Here's what he had to say.
How would you describe the pretty significant and some would say historic events that have played out in Bangladesh today? Within a matter of hours, a long-standing ruler, a long-standing prime minister has been ousted. She's now fled to India, and we're given to understand that she's possibly en route to London.
Yeah, it's a celebration now all over Bangladesh that she has left. Now they're free from her. This was something that they're hoping someday will happen. The students made it happen, but the students' idea was not to get her out. They were simply demonstrating for a simple reason, for quota arrangements that we had. They didn't like it. They wanted to change it. They were just amending the quota. That little demonstration became uglier and uglier because government wanted to shoot at them. They did shoot them, they killed them, continued with them. And then they brought paramilitary. Still, students become larger and larger in number. And then they brought the army. It becomes still larger, and killing continued to grow. Yesterday, there were 97 young people were killed yesterday alone. So you can see that what simple thing made a very complicated thing. And now she had to leave the country because of the things that she have done over years. And this is the failure of democracy. She didn't want democracy to be in Bangladesh. She had fake elections, never had a real election. And these young people who were 1/3 of the country, 2/3 of the whole population of the country, never voted in their life. They never had a chance to go and vote. They didn't know how its democratic system works. So this is something accumulated. All the pent-up anger burst into volcanic eruption. That's what just happened today.
So the immediate trigger, of course,
like a celebration of liberation, like we had in the 16th of December in 1971. The similar situation is going on all over the country. This is a new liberation that they feel they have.
So the immediate trigger, of course, was, like you said, was about this quota system, which, of course,
That's
the
right.
Supreme Court of Bangladesh, whittled it down. They reduced it down to just about 5%, I believe. You think the manner in which the Hasina government responded to these students, the shooting, the firing, the almost repression of these protests, that is what led to her ouster from power, not so much the quota itself, because after the Supreme Court's decision, I believe the protests had subsided for a bit.
It just started again because of the utterances made and the killing continued. Students came back again with their parents joined them, neighbors joined them. It became an ocean of people gradually all over the country. It's not just located in. This is not a Dhaka demonstration. This is a countrywide demonstration. Every single person is participating in that because they want to get rid of Hasina.
What do you think happens next? The army has said that they are going to put in place an interim government. Do you see elections in the near future? What may those throw up? Will the main opposition party, the BNP, come back to power? How do you see this playing out politically?
One of the things I've been emphasizing right from the beginning, the cure for all this political trouble is to have a fair election, because people have to express themselves in a political way, what they want that they never had in their young people's life. So this will be an occasion, have an election, have a caretaker government, and caretaker government will be responsible for election. And caretaker government was introduced with the insistence of Awami League, and Awami League made it part of the constitution. As soon as Hasina came to power, she scrapped it completely. So that thing gone. I said that was the cure for Bangladesh, have a caretaker government so that they can have a fair and transparent election. So the election is in the control of Hasina. So Hasina made it her own game to re-elect herself without any vote. So this is the core problem of Bangladesh. And the rest of it is just an outcome of what happened, corruptions and everything else, and killing people, disappearing people, and all the thing that you hear in the newspapers or read in the newspaper.
All right, let's quickly go across to my colleague Akash joining us from outside the Hindon Air Base. Remember, Sheikh Hasina has been camping here since last evening when she first landed in New Delhi. I want to go across to Akash for the latest. Akash, have you noticed any sort of movement since early morning? You've been tracking the latest developments, any meetings that have taken place? What's been ongoing? It's very clear, given the statement that's been coming in from the government side, that she is here for the moment, given the urgency with which she reached out to India. But this most certainly is not a final destination.
Yes, she has spent 24 hours almost here in the country, and we have got to know from Ministry of External Affairs. In fact, we saw the statement of the minister himself saying that she is here for a while, and we still don't know as to where she is going to take political asylum or, what is, her next destination. But definitely, as far as this particular place is concerned, where I'm standing, this is an important place, and in the last 24 hours, a lot of developments have happened here. We saw that how NSA, along with the senior military officials yesterday, came here. She met the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and also today, we saw movements. But as far as this particular establishment is concerned, so we know that this is an Air Force station. A lot of movements happen here on a daily basis. No, official of that level has come here, and we have no confirmation as to if anyone has come here to meet Sheikh Hasina. It is believed that she is very much present inside, and this is also a reason why we are possibly seeing the deployment of UP police, because in normal days only Air Force officials and personnel are here to guard the particular establishment. But today we are seeing senior officers from the UP police as well. Also, as far as the priorities are concerned, so India has got two priorities as of now. First one is safeguarding the borders with Bangladesh. We have got thousands of kilometers of borders with Bangladesh, and also the evacuation of Indian nationals from Bangladesh. We know that how around 19,000 Indian nationals are there in Bangladesh, and 9,000 out of them are students. So priority is, of course, the evacuation of these nationals. We got to know, in fact, that the statement was there from the Minister of External Affairs saying that Indian authorities are very much in touch with Bangladeshi authorities, and they will be, of course, trying to get their nationals back to country. How it will happen, we still don't know. But definitely, the developments have happened in the last 24 hours, and at this point in time, everyone is keeping an eye on the kind of things that are happening. No one knows as to where Sheikh Hasina will be moving next. But yes, there are several sort of speculations where we are getting, stories about UK denying political asylum, and then, she's trying some other country as well. We still don't know as to what is going to happen next. But yes, these are interesting developments.
Very interesting developments. Also, Akash, talk a little bit about whether or not we have seen the top government officials reach out to the Bangladesh military. And this is important because remember, there is a regime change now, an interim government has already taken over. And this communication, if at all it's happened already or perhaps in the near future will happen, India will want to convey that its interests must be protected. Have we seen anything of that sort take place already?
Patch.
Okay, we don't have a very clear line with Akash. We'll just reconnect with him. But a lot of reactions coming in on this big story. Let's quickly play them out.
देखिए इम्पोर्टेंट है जो बैठक हुई है कल CCS की, क्योंकि जो बांग्लादेश में चल रहा है उसका प्रभाव देश में भी पड़ेगा. हमारा बॉर्डर नेशन है, हमारा बॉर्डर शेयर करते हैं. एक तरफ पाकिस्तान ऑलरेडी है, दूसरी तरफ बांग्लादेश में अगर अनारकी होती है तो ये देश के लिए ठीक नहीं है. तो सारी जो भारतवासी हैं जो वहाँ पर हैं उनको कैसे वापस भारत लाया जाए, कैसे बॉर्डर पे कंट्रोल किया जाए कि जो वहाँ पर अनारकी चल रही है इट शुडंट स्प्रेड टू आवर पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री. और एज अ सिचुएशन इवॉल्व्स उम्मीद करते हैं कि वहाँ पे किसी तरीके की स्थिरता आएगी, क्योंकि ये अस्थिरता पूरे साउथ एशिया के लिए ठीक नहीं है और ख़ास करके भारत के लिए तो बिल्कुल ही ठीक नहीं है.
Well, look, as far as India is concerned, I think the first and most important signal we need to send to the people of Bangladesh is that we stand with them, that there is no other vested interests that India has. We have interests, obviously, in a peaceful, prosperous Bangladesh, but we are with the people. We stand for their right to determine their own political destiny and their own representatives. Having said that, we obviously have to be very much on alert. There are some disturbing reports coming, as you know, of attacks on Hindu homes, temples, and individuals. One might hope this will calm down, especially because every sort of popular uprising is followed by some degree of anarchy. We all saw the pictures of looting, etc. yesterday. It may calm down and stabilize in a couple of days, in which case we don't have to worry. If it doesn't, then of course there is a risk even of refugees fleeing to our country, and that would be a matter of grave concern.
We very categorically have told in the meeting that our Honorable Chief Minister has already said whatever decision government will take at this crucial juncture, we stand by the government. and we have requested that our Chief Minister may kindly be communicated and make updated about the whole situation. And Jaishankar, Amit Shah ji and Rajnath Singh ji all agreed to that.
Going across to Akash once again. Akash, I was meaning to ask you whether or not there's been any sort of a communication on part of the Indian officials as yet to the military in Bangladesh on how the new interim government must take care of India's interests so far, because that is one of the big concerns.
Yes, channels are open, and in fact, conversation is happening, and officials are in touch with the authorities there. But yes, as I mentioned earlier, Kritsween, this is the volatile situation there in the country, and nobody knows as to what is going to happen there. In fact, we saw that how army is in command, and army is taking care of the kind of activities, the administration as of now. But yes, as far as interim government is concerned, so this process will also take some time. What is the kind of representation there? If protesters are convinced with the sort of people representing them, or there are a number of questions, and till now we are getting stories of they vandalize, the protesters are vandalizing the property, and going to minorities and disturbing them, and the situation is not peaceful. But yes, authorities there claim that it is in hand. Now Indian authorities are in fact waiting to see as to what is going to happen next in that particular country.
Absolutely. Sheikh Hasina's uninterrupted tenure since 2009 has also seen a major boost in trade equations as far as Dhaka and New Delhi are concerned. So while New Delhi will have to wait and watch out for what happens next, what decision Sheikh Hasina arrives upon, which country is ready to grant her asylum, these are some of the pros that India has experienced with Sheikh Hasina, and since all of that has been witnessed the last so many years, it most certainly is going to be a diplomatic challenge for India in days to come. But Akash, give us a little bit of a sense of what's been transpiring ever since Sheikh Hasina landed in New Delhi, because we saw that interaction take place of Sheikh Hasina with NSA Ajit Doval, but the government has also been coming out with sharp responses, including the one that came in from the External Affairs Minister and the Parliament.
Yes, and I remember just 24 hours back, it's been, we were talking about Sheikh Hasina landing in Palam. In fact, I got this input that ATC there in Palam, has got some sort of input that yes, a VIP plane is going to land there. But then eventually we saw that how the plane landed here at around 5:45 and 6. After that, we saw that how NSA visited. In fact, along with NSA, we had the air officer commanding of Western Command, visiting Sheikh Hasina. Senior military officials were there, NSA were there. We don't know as to, what happened in that particular conversation. But definitely, Prime Minister was briefed. We saw that Cabinet Committee for Security meeting happened later in the evening. And then today, very important statement coming from the Parliament, where Minister of External Affairs, S. Jaishankar, briefed the Parliament about the conditions or the situation, the conditions that have happened in the past 24 hours. Also, Kritsween, it is important to mention that while we talk, security forces are on high alert. I mentioned that how we share 3,000 plus kilometers with Bangladesh. Border security force is on high alert. Indian Air Force has increased its readiness level. And in fact, we got to know that how Rafales were scrambled last night when we had this plane, the military plane C-130J, Super Hercules of Bangladesh, entering into the Indian territories. It is the normal protocol that whenever any unidentified or unscheduled, military plane comes to your boundary, Air Force generally takes this approach that, fighter planes are scrambled. And soon after, in fact, it was cleared by Minister of External Affairs that how, Indian authorities were approached for the flight clearance. And then finally we saw that Sheikh Hasina landed here. Today, very interesting developments are happening. Though we have not got any sort of official confirmation as to what is happening, but definitely a lot of things are happening in the backdrop. Back channels are open. And in fact, we are learning that this is the same establishment. I'll try to show you the visuals from here. UP police officials are very much there, and This is the routine condition though, because when we talk about any Air Force station, so we have Air Force officials are very much present for the security purpose, but Hindan Air Force at this point in time is the center of attraction and attention as well, because former Prime Minister of Bangladesh is believed to be inside this particular establishment, though we haven't got any sort of official confirmation from the Indian Air Force. But it will be interesting to see as to how things will pan out in terms that Sheikh Hasina is going to which country, under what circumstances and under what conditions.
Oh yes, you also spoke briefly about the border situation. The BSF has put the Indo-Bangladesh border on high alert, and we've seen additional deployment as well in that sense. Earlier today, in fact, we saw the DG BSF also visit some of those border areas. Let's quickly put out more details in this ground report that's been filed by Kamalika.
See, first of all, I would like to show you, I'm just in 0 point. This is called the 0 point. You're seeing that this is an Indian flag and this is a Bangladesh flag. So the point after that Bangladesh flag is Bangladesh, border guard of Bangladesh, and we can see the people who have visa, they are going back. We have been speaking to the people out there. So this is the 0 point, and here we have Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's flag out here, and that side just after this gate is the Bangladesh side. You can see the Bangladesh, the road straight leads to Jashore. So this is the Indians are also coming from here. The BSF DG right now, I would just ask my camera person to accompany me, is doing a meeting out here. He has been taken stock of the situation, and he came to the border, he came to the 0 point also. From here he is expected to go to in various other places, in various other sensitive pockets of the border, and from there he is going to take a whole day, he is going to take a stock of the situation, and he is expected to go to another bordering state tomorrow. Maybe it is Tripura, that's what we are getting, and right now you can see the strong vigil in both the side. This is the BSF who are keeping a strong vigil. From that side also the Indians or the Bangladeshis who want to come to India, they are coming from that side who have visa, and from this side they are going, the people, most of the people from there are coming from treatment. We had in the morning spoken to the truck drivers, the common people coming on. Some of them are scared. There is an anxiety amongst the people of both the side. You find scary faces out here.
Since all eyes are on a host of key meetings that have taken place already and are yet to take place, let's talk about this one coming in from the Parliament. In breaking news, we're learning that Home Minister Amit Shah, in fact, is meeting NSA Ajit Doval in the Parliament. I want to go across to my colleague Payal Mehta joining us with more details on the same. What more do we know about this interaction, Payal?
Well, Kritsveen, what we are given to understand that a short while ago, the Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, in fact, met the NSA, Mr. Ajit Doval, and also the External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar. The Home Secretary and other officials were also present in this meeting, because remember, it's been a developing situation that multiple, wings of the government are in fact coordinating. The BSF comes under the Union Home Minister. Of course, the External Affairs Minister is responsible for, the foreign policy of the government as well. So multiple issues have been discussed, and one knows that Mr. Ajit Doval met the Sheikh Hasina yesterday after she had landed in Delhi as well. So, what further is going to be there, what further developments can take place is something also which the government is watching very, very closely. And today there's already been a statement which has been made about this in Parliament as well. So, on that issue concerning Bangladesh, because it's going to have far-reaching impact. Remember, the influx of migrants, from Bangladesh, so in fact, multiple states in India is going to be something which the opposition parties have expressed a lot of concern about. The fact that there could be various other issues concerning the northeastern states in the state of Bengal, since this is mostly a porous border. That's also something which could be discussed. And also the opposition parties have also expressed themselves, saying that they were very concerned about the attack on the minorities that could have happened in Bangladesh. So all of these issues could have come up for discussion as far as this is concerned.
Okay, many thanks, Payal, for that. Let's not forget, NSA Ajit Doval was the first to meet Sheikh Hasina upon her arrival in New Delhi. Thank you for joining us with those details. With that, we head into a very short break. Lots more lined up. Keep watching.
किसी का
দমিয়ে রেখে থাকতে কারণ নাই। আমরা যদি একবার রুখে দাঁড়াই, আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ বাংলাদেশের সামনে করেই থাকবো। আর সেনা বাইরের যেসব ভাইয়েরা আমাদেরকে বাধা দিতে চেষ্টা করবেন, আপনাকে বলতে চাই, আপনারা দয়া করে শহীদদের সহযোগী হবেন না। আপনারা হয় জনতার কাতারে নেমে আসুন, নয়তো নিরপেক্ষ থাকবেন।
They will feel that they have won today because a lot of people have lost their lives in this fight, which really began peacefully only over quotas in government jobs, but escalated because of mishandling by the government, by the absolute arrogance of the political leadership, by excesses of the security forces, into something which was so angry and demanded that Prime Minister stepped down. So they will be happy today.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned to CNN News 18. There's lots unfolding in Bangladesh after the resignation of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And in particular, what's most worrying is the manner in which several Hindus across Bangladesh are being targeted. According to Bangladeshi newspaper Daily Star, Hindu shops, houses have been vandalized by violent protesters. They've been set on fire, they've been torched. Top intel sources, in fact, have also been telling your channel that the government is concerned regarding these attacks against the Hindu community members and will be speaking to stakeholders in Bangladesh. In fact, we heard it from the External Affairs Minister in Rajya Sabha as well, speak of how this is a priority for the government of India. We're also learning, as per sources, that the safety of Hindus is going to be the topmost priority for the Indian government going forward. We did speak to Bangladesh ISKCON President Mr. Ranjan on the phone line earlier today. Let's quickly listen into that conversation. So, asking you about the latest from Bangladesh. Also, if you can confirm.
Latest situation is haphazard. Excuse me, listen to me. It is haphazard manner. It is very difficult to tell me for me to tell you the exact information because the police is not acting. Police is not working because police is not permitted to enforce open fire. And the Army chief has ordered that somewhere the Army chief has ordered not to fire, open fire there, and that is why police some police stations are set on fire, some hotel houses of actually minority, that is particularly Hindus and Awami Leaguers, are set on fire and looted. This is happening in Bangladesh, more or less all over Bangladesh.
Mr. Barai,
So
what
if
about the
you can
ISKCON
help us-
temple? Has that also been targeted?
No, ladies, actually Hindu property by the household and business institution.
But can you confirm for us, sir? Have temples also been attacked?
You please tell the administration, Indian administration, and pass order to High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh to take the correct information.
But tell us a little bit about what you just said. You said Hindu community members are specifically being targeted across Bangladesh.
Yes, mainly Hindu communities and members of Awami League.
Let's shift our attention to more news coming in. Remember, TMC has been one of the political parties that in the all-party meeting earlier today also raised concerns on how this plays out for India, especially West Bengal that shares its border with Bangladesh. In the latest, in fact, reactions come in from Derek O'Brien as well, who says Bengal is the biggest challenge and has to absorb the most pressure during this sensitive time. It would be prudent of the Union government to keep the Chief Minister updated. So that's the latest bit of breaking news update coming in, and Pallavi Ghosh joins us with more details on the same, as has been opined by several TMC leaders, Pallavi, and yes, they're not wrong in pointing out that Bengal may have to see the worst, if at all, given the situation and the fallout of the Bangladeshi crisis. Tell us a little bit about this reaction.
Well, this is a significant and interesting take given the fact that there was an all-party meeting this morning inside Parliament, and even the TMC was very much present there. The TMC had made it very clear that they do have their concerns, and their concerns were addressed to a certain extent by the External Affairs Minister. I think this is the Trinamool Congress and the West Bengal government putting forward their concern even more aggressively. Over 2,200 kilometers of border it shares with Bangladesh. There's always been this thing about Bangladeshis crossing the border and staying in many of these border areas of West Bengal. Now what the Trinamool Congress is especially demanding is that every decision or every take which has been taken by the government must be shared on a one-to-one basis with Mamata Banerjee as the Chief Minister. Now, whether the government would agree to this, whether the government would want to do this, because at the end of the day, these are all sensitive matters, so the government may not want to go very public with it. But it's very clear that she is, of course, expressing a concern over her own state, which may face some problems. That's what she's worried about.
Thanks for that, Pallavi. We'll reconnect with you in just a bit. We're tracking that very closely, and several aspects that are emerging as we speak, including the attack that continues to be witnessed on several Hindu community members across Bangladesh. Like I said, several temples in Bangladesh have also been torched. They've come under direct attack by some of these violent protesters. Here's another voice coming in from ISKCON in Bangladesh to put things in perspective. Listen in.
You know, over the last 24 hours, we've got reports of at least one ISKCON temple that came under attack yesterday. Is that something that you could confirm to us, and what exactly happened?
Yes, thank you very much. ISKCON temple in Meherpur attacked, and there's burned out the small center in Meherpur. And then other center is okay, but still okay. I think now military is take over. I think they will take over everything, and then they will save us, I think. But we are afraid.
And that's understandable, sir, because, it's not just this time, but even in the past, we've seen that there has been desecration as far as deities are concerned. There have been attacks on the Hindu community and temples, even in the past in Bangladesh.
Yes, so many times this government changed, then Hindus, house, Hindus, property, so many times attacked. And then this time also attacked some Hindu communities, house, Hindu communities, business center, and also some Hindu temples also. But it's still going on. But I think now military is take over. I think we are safe. But I don't know. We are afraid also.
There's this one temple that you speak of, sir, where the attack took place yesterday, Meherpur, if I'm not mistaken. All the other centers, at least 3 or 4 more in Bangladesh of ISKCON, are they all safe? Is there security now there?
Yeah, now security is giving ourselves, not government security is there. This is ourselves giving security, and then our child, some Muslim person and leader person, they come out, and then they are telling, okay, no problem, we will be here. We'll look after your temple. Then they will giving hope.
Well, we have been talking to you about the border situation as well. The BSF has put the border areas on high alert. In fact, the DG BSF himself flew from New Delhi to some of these border areas to personally monitor the situation. And remember, these border areas have been guarded up by the BSF as well. Kamalika gets us more details on what people think on the developing situation. Listen in.
Petropol border is one of the largest land port in Southeast Asia, and with present situation the export verbally has stopped since yesterday. We have with us the drivers, the pilots who actually has left their car on the trucks on the Bangladesh side and has come this side yesterday in the evening. आपका भी वहाँ पे ट्रक है और आप यहाँ पे?
हाँ, हम जो लोग चला है कल।
क्या सिचुएशन है वहाँ पे?
अच्छा नहीं है। वो भांगचोर होता है बांग्लादेश में, जो आमली का बीएमपी पार्टी जो है वो बहुत झंझट होता है।
तो आप लोग को प्रोटेक्शन दिया कर?
हम लोग कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दिया। हम लोग बोलकर तुम लोग चला जाओ, तुम लोग चला जाओ, इंडिया में चला जाओ, गाड़ी खाली होगा तो हम अब बुला लेगा।
तो आप भी हो, आपका भी गाड़ी ट्रक है?
हाँ, बांग्लादेश में हमारा ट्रक है।
हाँ, तो उधर से आगे है?
हाँ, उधर से इंडिया से बगल में चलाया अभी इंडिया में। क्यों बांग्लादेश में झमेला होता है अभी बहुत, ऐसे चला रहा है।
क्या देखा?
कल देखा भांगचूर यूनियन ऑफिस है, वहाँ पर भांगचूर हो रहा है अभी, और अभी छोटा छोटा बोमा है, अभी धुआं होता है, धुआं वैसा चलाता है, वैसे नहीं यार नहीं गया तो बस
डर लग रहा है।
हाँ।
आपका भी गाड़ी उधर है?
हमारा इधर पार्किंग में है। हम लोग भी बांग्लादेश जाएंगे, लेकिन 4 दिन से इधर खड़े हुए हैं।
4 दिन से खड़े। अभी तो क्या बोल रहा है गेट में?
अभी कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे हैं, अभी गेट बंद कर दिए हैं। मेरा एक गाड़ी गया हुआ अंदर में है अभी, उसका कुछ नहीं है। ड्राइवर का ना फोन लग रहा है ना कुछ हो रहा है।
What they are saying that the situation out there is not right, and some of them have left their trucks out there, and when the gate opened yesterday in the evening, they came here. They are saying that yesterday they were all tensed, and there were some places where some of the bombs were hurled, and some agitations were there, and some of the party office of Awami League that has been destroyed. That is also been said by these drivers who generally always travels from this route. This is one of the largest land port in Southeast Asia. Export has totally stopped since yesterday, and now their trucks are there. They are in this side. They have come this side. They have fled this side. They are saying the situation is not good that side. Today the BSF DG will come. Everything is in high alert. The state administration, the BSF, patrolling has been made more stricter. All eyes are there on the borders. Everything is in high vigil. High alert has been declared here in Petropol border. This is the final check post or the 0 point, and we have people who are going back to Bangladesh. Here you can see the lone statue of Mujibur Rahman, and here is one person is going back. So, क्यों आए थे यहाँ पे?
आरसी घूरते आरसी তারপর ডাক্তার দেখানোর জন্য আসছি।
তো ফেরত যাচ্ছেন, কোনো ভয় লাগছে?
ভয় তো স্বাভাবিক লাগবেই, বাংলাদেশের যে পরিস্থিতি এখন, বিশের মেয়াদও শেষ পর্যায়ে, যেতে তো হবে। সেজন্য না হয় হয়তো আরো পরে যেতাম। ভয় তো লাগে।
বাড়ির লোকের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ হয়েছে?
যোগাযোগ হয়েছে,
কি বলছেন?
পরিস্থিতি ভালো না, মানে আজকে হয়তো বা পরিস্থিতি একটু শান্ত আছে।
So he's a businessman who came for treatment out here, Nurujjaman. He's saying he's from Narayanganj. He's feeling scared to go back, but the visa tenure is also ending, so he has to go.
Let me now go across to Siddhant joining us on the phone line with more details. Siddhant, Khalida Zia has been released. You know, Hindus have become a soft target in Bangladesh. The picture's not looking very good from Bangladesh. But tell us how the government is viewing this and what do we expect in the next few hours, given that the interim government has taken over. How is it shaping up really for India?
No, absolutely. Look, it's concerning for the Indian government, and in fact, the same has been reiterated by EM Jaishankar in his address in the House, and also during Indian government's briefing at the time of all-party meeting. In fact, we have also been told that the army is in touch with the Bangladesh army is in touch with the Indian government, and the matter has been raised with the Bangladeshi army, and as a follow-up of that, we could see the images and videos of coming out of Bangladesh of locals and police protecting Hindu temples and Hindu localities. So this has been done after pressure from the government of India, because the top priority for government of India right now is to protect minorities and also to safeguard borders. So these are the two top priorities, and Indian government is perhaps focusing on these two priorities at this point in time. There are many places which have been attacked. There are many sites which have been targeted. We still don't have an independent confirmation regarding the same. But yes, the people in Bangladesh are telling us that many Hindus have lost their lives. In fact, some of the countries are also demanding UN-led independent investigation in the violence which took place in Bangladesh. Maybe in days to come, we'll get more clear and better picture of what exactly happened back in Bangladesh.
Okay. Also tell us a little bit about the structure of the interim government, Siddhant. It's important that India eventually know, though in the interim, India of course is looking at different interests, but eventually it will have to build bridges with the new Dhaka dispensation. How is it shaping up for the interim government, and what does that mean for India?
Well, look, as far as interim government is concerned, then one thing is for sure that the army in Bangladesh is calling the shot. They are getting the best people on board. In fact, many of the critiques of the Sheikh Hasina have been asked to join the government. In fact, Yusuf, one of the old-time critics of Sheikh Hasina, has been made the advisor of the interim government. So the idea is that interim government there should be a reflection of the aspiration of the students' movement as far as the interim government is concerned. Interim government has a lot of promises to fulfill, the commitments to fulfill, and perhaps there where the focus is, and also credibility is going to be the big issue for the army. So they want to get credible voices on board, and that is exactly what the army is doing at this point in time till the fresh elections are called.
You know, as far as UK is concerned, which was being seen as the destination for Sheikh Hasina when she first fled Bangladesh, we're learning that so far United Kingdom has not opened its door for Sheikh Hasina. Has the story moved forward since last evening though, Siddhant, in that manner? Do we have any more clarity, any developments that have taken place on that front?
Well, as far as Sheikh Hasina's asylum in UK is concerned, then UK government has turned down that request. We don't have an official confirmation, but sources are telling us this, and this is the reason that we are looking at a possibility of Hasina being in India for some more days, as many of the countries have turned down her request, and so in that scenario, she's going to remain in India. At this point in time, her team is exploring more options for her where she can take permanent refuge. But right now, temporary refuge has been offered to her by the government of India. She is still at the Hindon Air Base safe house. And in fact, today, Mr. Jaishankar told the House that she approached Indian government and requested to stay in India for a moment. and this request has come from her office, and later the request was made for the flight
Okay.
clearance. So that's what
Okay.
is
Speaking of what next for Sheikh Hasina, there's a little bit of a breaking news update coming in. Siddhant, we'll come back to you in just a bit, a few seconds. Here's what we're learning from Finland. Remember, Sheikh Hasina is open to exploring several other options in Europe itself, and Finland is one of those countries. Now, we have a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland, which says it doesn't have any information on Sheikh Hasina's whereabouts nor future plans. If Ms. Hasina would decide to seek political asylum in Finland, the request would be processed in accordance with the relevant laws and regulations. So that's a statement coming in from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland. Naturally so, because several European nations are now being looked at. What are the other options that Sheikh Hasina has are also being thought out. Let me go across to Siddhant once again. Siddhant, this is what we're hearing from Finland. Options open as far as other European nations are concerned, but has anyone extended that gesture as yet?
Well, we have been told by close sources that Sheikh Hasina wants to go to Finland also, and there are talks going on. And in the same regard, we wrote to the Foreign Ministry of Finland to know the status, that have they received any request officially. So they have written back to us, to CNN News 18, that Finland does not have any official information regarding the whereabouts of Sheikh Hasina. And if Sheikh Hasina would decide to seek political asylum in Finland, the request has to be processed in accordance with the relevant laws and regulations. So this is what we have got from the Foreign Ministry of Finland. In fact, they have written back to us. So there are a lot of possible options that the team of Sheikh Hasina is exploring at this point in time. But it looks like there is a big no from the Western world, the whole of Europe especially, because many of these countries are turning down the request and in fact not entertaining the calls from Sheikh Hasina's office. So it would really be interesting to see that where she finally ends up getting accommodated. But right now she's going to stay in India. India is going to be her temporary home for a few more days.
Absolutely, and much of that uncertainty, remember, comes from the apprehensions of the West, the apprehensions of the United States of America in particular. Many thanks, Siddhant, for joining us with all those details. It's time for us to head into a very short break. We'll be right back. Keep watching.
Brought to you by
মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী পদত্যাগ করেছেন এবং এখন একটা ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্ট ফর্ম করে আমরা আমাদের কার্যক্রম পরিচালনা করব।
আমরা ওই জায়গায় ঘেরাও দেবো, এরপর দেখবো যে সে আছে কিনা। সম্ভবত সে নেই। বাংলাদেশ এই 14 বছর পর আবার 16 বছর পর আবার স্বাধীন হলো।
আমাদেরকে দমিয়ে রেখে থাকতে কারণ নাই। আমরা যদি একবার রুখে দাঁড়াই, আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ বাংলাদেশ স্বাধীন করেই ছাড়বো। আর সেনা বাইরের যেসব ভাইয়েরা আমাদেরকে বাধা দিতে চেষ্টা করবেন, আপনাকে বলতে চাই, আপনারা দয়া করে সহযোগিতা সহযোগী হবেন না। আপনারা হয় জনতার কাতারে নেমে আসুন, নয়তো
Welcome back. There is a lot of curiosity in India on how it is viewing the developing situation in Bangladesh. Earlier today, External Affairs Minister S. Shankar in the Parliament in Rajya Sabha in fact spoke on the situation and said this was a request made by Sheikh Hasina on a very short notice, and that's how it's transpired the last few hours. Also spoke of the border situation and how the border security forces have been asked to remain vigilant given the manner in which excessive looting and rioting is being witnessed in Bangladesh. We listen into him and also get you a ground report from the Indo-Bangladesh border. Take a look.
At very short notice, she requested approval to come for the moment to India. We simultaneously received a request for flight clearance from Bangladesh authorities. She arrived yesterday evening in Delhi. The situation in Bangladesh, sir, is still evolving. The Army Chief, General Waqaruzzaman, addressed the nation on 5th August, he spoke about assuming responsibility and constituting an interim government. We are in close and continuous touch with the Indian community in Bangladesh through our diplomatic missions. There are an estimated 19,000 Indian nationals there, of which about 9,000 are students.
So you can see one by one the truck, they are coming. That side is the Bangladesh and this side it's the Petropol-Benapol border. 30% of India trade goes to it, and it's a very safe. High vigil is there. Some of the truck drivers left their car and came this side, and some of the truck drivers are coming now with special permission. दादा कल क्या देखा वहाँ पे, कैसा सिचुएशन है?
वहाँ पे हम लोग तो मिर्चा लेके गया, मिर्चा वो पार्किंग में खाली किया, लेकिन उतना झमेला इधर पार्किंग में नहीं है। ये रोड पर कल झमेला किया वो 2:30 बजे।
क्या बोला आपको?
वो तो मेरे को मालूम नहीं है, हम तो इधर आया नहीं ना।
क्या झमेला देखा?
अरे वो झमेला तो रोड पर हुआ, हम लोग तो पार्किंग में था।
अच्छा अच्छा।
वो हम लोग को मालूम नहीं ये कैसे झमेला था।
आज डर लग रहा था रात को?
नहीं, रात को कोई झमेला नहीं था।
आज आगे परमिशन लेके पूरा चेकिंग है। आप कहाँ क्या लेके गए थे?
मिर्चा लेके गया।
फिर जाएंगे क्या? अभी सिचुएशन वहाँ पे खराब है।
अभी अच्छा तो उधर तो जाना पड़ेगा, लेके आना पड़ेगा। बॉर्डर चालू रहेगा तो आना ही पड़ेगा ना। नहीं चालू रहेगा तो आना पड़ेगा नहीं।
बॉर्डर अभी क्या चालू तो नहीं है?
नहीं, अभी बंद है। उधर कल भी ज्यादा गाड़ी घुसा नहीं, 2-2:30 बजे तक घुसा, उसको बाद बंद था।
This is CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
A very good evening. You're watching Plain Speak. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. We are coming live to you from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio. Now, temples have been burnt and defaced, houses attacked and ransacked. Hindus in Bangladesh are the soft target, and perhaps the most severe collateral damage of the rioting in Bangladesh. Houses and business establishments of Hindus have been attacked by violent mobs in the recent upheaval that led to the exit of the Bangladeshi now former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Hindus and their valuables have also been looted, this in at least 27 districts of Bangladesh. The extent of these attacks is yet to be completely ascertained, as has been conveyed by India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in his address to both houses of the Parliament today. Presently, Hindus make up about 8% of Bangladesh's population, or around 13.1 million people. And not just Hindus, Bangladeshi protesters have also set fire to the Indira Gandhi Cultural Centre and Bangabandhu Bhavan. It should be noted that the IGCC was an iconic linkage between New Delhi and Dhaka. So with Bangladesh's Hindus under fire, is the country's inclusive image under threat? And is the rise of radicalism the new reality of Bangladesh? Those are the questions that set the tone of Plain Speak tonight. On that note, the Hindu community has also been facing the brunt of violence in Bangladesh. Let's also break down for you what has been happening. The Hindus have been alleging that their houses have been attacked by violent mobs. Even temples have not been spared.